Welcome back to Hot Stove. The 2022 Texas Rangers finished fourth in the AL West with 68 wins. They struggled in one-run games, and though it took a little while, Marcus Semien and Corey Seager were big contributors down the stretch despite the slow start by Semien. One of the great breakout stories, that of Nathaniel Lowe, big left-handed bat who had a career year in the middle of that Texas lineup for the Rangers. And there's plenty of change in Arlington to come, as we are joined by the Rangers Executive VP of Baseball Ops and General Manager Chris Young. CY, thanks for the time. And I got to start with this. Would you have ever imagined back in 2005-06 when you were pitching for Bruce Bochy that you would someday hire him to manage the team that you were running in Major League Baseball? Could you have ever seen this coming?
No, Matt, I really could not have. I think back on those years, and I was a young player in the major leagues playing for a veteran manager that I just admired and respected. I was so afraid of screwing up in front of him that I was more worried about that than anything else. So to think that we've come this far 17 years later, and here we are working together again, it's pretty special. We're very excited. He's a special man, a great leader, and the Texas Rangers are thrilled to have him.
Chris, back in the day, did you have the conversations when he came out there to maybe take the ball from you that you said, I'm not leaving? And what were some of those conversations like?
No, it's funny. I've been asked a lot recently about any special memories from Boch, and there is one memory that sticks out. And I'll preface this by saying I only got to play for him for 1 year, and after my first year playing for him, he left and went to San Francisco. But in that year, we were a playoff team. We won the division, and I was pitching in the playoffs, and it was a game in St. Louis, and I think it was the 6th inning. I had 2 runners on and 1 out in a close game, and Boch came out of the dugout, and I thought, okay, my day's over. He'd never come out to the mound and left me in the game, so I knew I was done. And he got out to the mound, and he said, CY, you're a reason we're here. This is your game. Go get this guy. And he turned around and went back to the dugout, and it's just that feel for the game. Probably the right move analytically would have been to take me out of the game at that point, but what he was able to do and the confidence he instilled in me at that moment, I was definitely getting the next 2 guys out, which I did, and then he came and got me the next inning.
I know, Chris, that you and Boch are similar in this way, that you guys were both kind of raised in old school baseball environments, but you both speak modern baseball fluently. So with that as a preface, I'll ask you about the free agent market this year. How much of the business we're about to watch unfold in the next 4 to 5 months is going to change based on the new rules? The limiting of throws to first base by pitchers, bigger bags, pitch clock, no shift. Are we in for a cataclysmic change in terms of the market because of that stuff?
No, Matt, I really don't think so. I think my general sense is that our players are unbelievable athletes. They make adjustments quickly. It's what's gotten them to the big leagues, is the ability to make adjustments, to adapt. And I have the same expectation here. There will be subtle changes that will impact certain players differently, but I think by and large most of the players will be able to adjust. And while we do try to factor that in from an R&D perspective and project exactly who's going to be most impacted by some of the rule changes, I don't think you're going to see strong swings from one extreme to the other in terms of style of play specific to any one individual.
Let's talk a little bit about your middle, because if those 2 guys are right, I would think that there'd be 29 teams out there that says, yeah, sign me up. I might trade you my middle for your middle. And how are you looking to build around those 2 guys this offseason?
Well, first, let me say we're thrilled with Corey and Marcus up the middle. I think last year when we decided that those were the 2 foundational pieces to build around, they've lived up to that, and they've set a different tone for our organization, their leadership, their intensity, the way they take the field day in, day out, with a desire and a focus to win baseball games. It's really exactly what we want our young guys who are coming to the big leagues to see in a veteran player. So, I think the important part, like you said, Bill, is to continue to build around them. And I think this offseason we're primarily focused on upgrading our pitching. We have very good depth in our minor leagues. We feel very good about both our position players and our pitching that's on the way, but we want to buy time for that. And so we need to find the right veteran players to help us win 2023 and beyond at the big league level, and then bring our young players into an environment filled with veteran players and a winning attitude and mentality.
Upgraded pitching, as you know, Chris, is a rally cry that predates your arrival in Arlington. We've been talking about that as long as we can remember. And the big name that's out there, and there are plenty of connections being drawn between free agent future Hall of Famer Clayton Kershaw and your brand. Without giving away any company secrets, we know you're not going to tell us everything that's being cooked up there. Would somebody be wrong if they said there's interest in Texas bringing Clayton Kershaw?
Well, Matt, I'll say that we're still in the silent period right now, so I can't comment on specific free agents, but I'll say in general, I think all 30 teams would be thrilled to have Clayton Kershaw pitch for him.
Well done. Well done. I didn't think I was going to get you to bite at that. You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe routine that quickly. I know that for sure. Yeah, and I get the desire to improve pitching. How much of that are you going to lean on Boch for? Is that, I mean, he's been known as a guy that is as pitching friendly as it gets as far as his managerial style. Is he going to have a little bigger license to do that now?
Well, I think Boch will have an impact on our entire organization in terms of just the leadership style and setting in a culture and an attitude that gets the best out of each and every person. So I think, not specific to pitching, but just in general. But in terms of specific personnel, yes, Boch has, he knows what winning looks like, and we're going to lean on him. I love his opinion. We've talked every day, and he's weighing in on different players, different suggestions that we can consider to make our team as good as possible. And Boch wants to win, as do I, and it's what our fans deserve, and we're excited to make that happen.
How many autographs have you been asked to sign in Vegas since you've been there the last few days of people thinking you're Joe Flacco?
None. None. I've been hiding out in ballrooms here. I haven't made it much farther than the elevator bank to the ballroom and back to my room.
Good for you. Chris, we appreciate the visit. Great to see you. Continued success with the Rangers, and we look forward to seeing you at the winter meetings in a few short weeks.
Thanks, Chris.
Guys, thanks for having me. Great talking to you.